Good morning. It's Friday the 13th of January. Um, Starting well before dawn again, but it's a clear sky, so it'll lighten up pretty quickly. And here's the moon up there with the trees. It's a Friday, so we're headed around the lake. Oh dear, my left shoe feels loose, but it is tied, so I guess I'll leave it. It feels a little less secure than I would like, but it won't come off. There's no good way to tie it, that's for sure. You can see the big pile of snow here from when they scraped our street yesterday. And they did come back a second time and push it over, so it's up against the curb. It's -9 this morning, so not too bad. Quite a bit of hoarfrost. We'll see that more as the light waxes. Again, I just hope it focuses. It doesn't seem to like dim lighting very much. It's kind of fuzzy. Despite being a good low light camera in a lot of ways, really, here in the iPhone 13. So let's see what I do yesterday. I did a lot of writing. I talked about that. What am I doing today? More writing. Funny that. More editing. More publishing. I'll have another book out shortly. Dolly Bird, which is a historical novel. A new edition of that. Boy, that shoe feels like it's not tied at all. I know it is, but it's way looser than I'd like. I just can't fix it. It's going to be really annoying for the whole block. There's no good way to put this down and tie your shoe. Everything's much clearer here. They don't scrape it right down to the ground, but they flatten out the ruts, which are what cause a lot of the problem, although it's still very slick. It's supposed to go to 0 today. There's the moon again up there. Funny, hasn't gone anywhere. Can I focus on it? Guess so. What was I saying? Oh, so when they scrape the ruts, it does leave it quite slippery still. I hope the sound's okay. There's no good place to clip on this microphone. It clips straight up and down. I need to make some sort of sideways clip that I can then clip it to get it closer to my mouth. So it's kind of clipped on a pocket, but it's a little further away than it should be for the best sound. And if I turn my head, sometimes it fades. Or if it gets twisted a little bit so it's no longer pointing towards my mouth, it'll fade. So I apologize for that. A couple of people have commented on it. What is that noise? Probably a snow blower of some sort, but I can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Oh, it's on my left. It actually, yeah, it's a snowblower, I guess. Carrying the driveway, I think. That's what's going on. Can't really see him. I don't know what's going on. Not for sure what that sound does. Coming Coming up to the Albert Street Bridge here. Good morning, Jennifer. Jennifer? Boy, my eyes have struggled. Jennifer, Jonathan. Jonathan. Jennifer, Jonathan. They don't even look alike, those words. See, I really need reading glasses for the little print, but I'm not going to walk around wearing my reading glasses around the lake, so it's a trade-off. See color starting to show up in the sky over there. That will get brighter as we go. We'll go through the sadly graffitied tunnel here. Ooh. Got to be real careful on these steps. They're not well cleared, and so they slope down a bit. I always walk the same way around the lake this time of the year. It's because the legislative building looks cool in the dawn light. And I think they've done some more clearing here since the last time I was here. Pretty big piles of snow on either side of the path here. And of course is the dome of the legislative building up ahead of us. Those lights over there are the Wascana outdoor rink. There'll be the, it's called the Frost Festival coming up. They'll be making use of that rink. There's where the sun will be coming up shortly. Not about 40 minutes anyway. The bridge, and also the dam that forms the lake. Bit brisk on my face, but I didn't really. Might have to put my hood up at least to start with here. Let's do that. Don't know why I don't do it to begin with. I always know I'm going to want to, even when it's not all that cold by absolute standards. But when you're walking in it, you notice it pretty quick. I'll be a little more comfortable. My face is still exposed, but it's not that bitterly cold that it'll freeze. I'll go over there by the rink again, as I have for the last couple of walks. Good. I was going to catch that guy, and I was trying to avoid being too close to him while I was talking to myself. Come some joggers. Haven't seen a dog yet, but I'm sure we will. Got a light up vest, that one. been walking up the path to the ledge because it didn't look all that well cleared. See what it looks like today. Here's the rink on Wascana. Nobody on it, but it's there ready to be skated on. And then there's a warming shack over there. See Frost there, the Frost Festival that's coming up. Well, have they kind of cleared this path? I think so, so maybe we'll go this way today. There was a big pile of snow here that's now gone, so there's been definitely been some clearing going on. It's a statue of Walter Scott, the first premier over there. Yes, this is Wascana Lake. Nisa, I guess. Currently headed south as I walk around the lake. And of course, is the Saskatchewan Legislative Building in front of me. As far as I can tell, everything's in focus. I don't think they've cleared a path in front of the Queen Elizabeth statue there. It just looks like people have beaten a path, but they haven't actually cleared one. Ooh. So yeah, there's the ledge. It's -9 Celsius at the moment. If you're moving here in April, it's hard to say. The snow will be melting in April. May not all be gone though. It's not the first part of the month, or it might be, but odds are there'll still be some snow around in April, and you can still get late snowstorms too. I've seen them as late as Victoria Day weekend and long weekend in May. That's a bit unusual, but it certainly has happened. Can we go over there today? Well, maybe we can, but no, let's go that way. I doubt they've cleared the path over to the Trafalgar Fountain, but they have cleared it here walking up to the building, so let's do that. Have a look up there, you can see the moon above the legislative building. How's overall life in Regina? Oh, I don't know. Good, I guess. I've lived here for a long time now. It's just home. I wouldn't want to say. I don't really know. Best places are to live. North Central is generally kind of the highest crime neighborhood. Other than that, depends on how close you want to be to downtown, university, or whatever it is you're looking for here. Kind of interesting shadows on the steps there. Lots of light here, though. Good to see these things. there's the fountain dead ahead of us, but I don't know if it's cleared well enough for us to walk down there or not. Hopefully there's a bit of a path. Otherwise I'll have to go down the road to my right and go around that way. Probably enough people have gone this way that there'll be a beaten down path to the fountain. I don't think they clear it though. Since the fountain will not be fountaining for quite some time yet. Supposed to go to freezing today, which is very warm for January. So it'll be quite melty on the roads if it's sunny as well. Yeah, a lot of people have been along here, so it's kind of a beaten down path, if I'm careful. Oh, my shoelace is completely untied. That's not supposed to happen. I'm going to have to figure out how to stop and fix that. Which is not easy with this gimbal thing. I can't walk around with it completely untied like that. It's nuts. There's no place to sit here either. Nice shot though, with the fountain and the sun's glow over there. And yes, there's quite a bit of hoarfrost this morning, so it's pretty. I'll be lucky to find a bench that's cleared enough for me to sit on too, so I'm kind of stuck with the untied shoelace here for a while. There's just no place to sit here. I'm not going to sit in the snow. Oh, I came the wrong way. That was even worse because my shoe's not tied. Now I've got snow in my boot. It's the joys of living in Saskatchewan. There are benches along here, but I don't know if any of them have been cleared enough for me to sit on. Anyway, back to the lake. The sky's looking really pretty over there. Who's that? Sarah. Yes, you definitely hear the crunch. Look at that sky. And these pretty trees. Turning into a lovely morning. Boy, this is widely cleared. The sidewalk is nowhere near this wide. The light from the street light shows you how much hoarfrost there is. Very nicely. Perhaps not quite as thick. See, there's a bench, but can't really sit on it. Oh well. My shoelace is flapping like crazy. That's very unusual. I double tie them, so that doesn't happen, but somehow that one managed to untie itself. The other one's snug as a bug in a rug, as they say, or at least as my mom used to say. Very pretty. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gotta find some place to fix that. I'm gonna trip on it if I'm not careful. That's the Holodomor Memorial over there, marking the Stalin's genocide of Ukrainians. Maybe up here I'll find a place. It's not just finding a place to sit. I have to find a place to prop up the gimbal while I do so. Renew, hello, hi. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. Maybe that's why my shoelace came undone. It's about a 2/3 moon up there. I don't know if it's wax. Oh, here's a bench. Okay, let's see what I can do here. I think this one's probably clear enough for me to sit on. And if I can just manage to prop this thing, otherwise I'll have to let it go wonky for a minute. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. Oh, well, it's kind of clear. Clear enough to sit on for my purposes anyway. Not very clear. Don't know that I'll do any better though. Okay. At least it's, I can brush it off somewhat. I'll sit down. I think I'm going to have to let this thing go wonky, so hold on to your hats. Ooh. And I'll leave it, I need to put it on my lap. So I'm sure this is an attractive shot. Not ideal, but I'll get it done here. Probably looking right at my nose, so I apologize for that. Maybe I didn't double tie it. Maybe that's what happened. Sure thought I did. Okay, all fixed. Back we go. It'll go sideways. Oh, the light just went out. And then it'll go around the way it's supposed to be. And get my gloves back on. Get off the snow I'm sitting on. And we'll be back on track. Now, do I leave that in or do I edit it out for the permanent record? I'll leave it in because it's all part of the experience. Getting my gloves on, that's what's happening now. Sniffle, sniffle. Okay, all good. Here we go back. Back walking again. Okay. Crunch, crunch. Much better. Foot-wise, anyway. Now my rear end's kind of cold from sitting on the bench, but that'll warm up as I walk. Rear end is actually, well, I guess it's not entirely redundant. You can have a front end as well, so okay, it's not redundant. That's because Saskatoon is 2.5 hours north of here. 250 kilometers north, more or less. That's why it's colder. And it has to do with the airflow. This will be a warm air coming in from the west, and it does tend to flow not to due east, but kind of southeast, so the weather can be considerably different between Saskatoon and Regina. Sometimes we get snow and they don't, sometimes they get snow and we don't. There's a town called Davidson, which is about halfway, and for some reason the weather often changes around there if you're driving between the two. Or if you're driving to Weyburn, it seems like the weather changes around Carlisle, or Milestone, I guess, not Carlisle, wrong part of the country. Milestone. Oh, shall we take a look at Take a look at Spruce Island since it's all hoarfrosted. Ah, that's pretty. So that's downtown. You can see the downtown building starting to light up in the sunrise. And then Spruce Island, which is undeveloped. And then that tall building over there is the Center of the Arts, Connexus Arts Center, which is our major auditorium, where the symphony plays and Broadway shows play when they come to town and that sort of thing. Concerts, all that good stuff. Just such a pretty sky this morning. It's actually prettier to my eyes than it is on the screen, I noticed. My eyes are seeing more subtle colors than the screen is registering. Sunrise is probably around 8:53 or something like that. It was 8:55 yesterday. So it's getting earlier every day. Pick up the pace. I've had too many leisurely stops and shoe tyings and that sort of thing. I haven't seen a dog yet. I'd be very surprised if we don't see somebody walking a dog. It's actually a cross-country trail, I think, though not a particularly well-groomed one. You can cross-country ski through here. I've been cross-country skiing. It's the only kind of skiing I've ever done. It was fun, but that was 25 years ago, so whatever I learned from the instructor that winter in Whitefish, Montana, I don't remember. She was supposed to be one of the best ski instructors in the country, and she had been an opera singer, so it was interesting. She had trained at Lyric Opera in Chicago. She didn't like the cutthroat nature of the business, the auditions and fighting for roles and all that. So she came back to Whitefish and became a ski instructor. She'd grown up there. She was a young woman. It was 25 years ago. She's not as young anymore, I guess. Don't remember her name. Funny. I was the same age 25 years ago. I don't know how other people get older and I stay the same. It's a miracle. Probably that painting I have in the attic. From the estate of Dorian Gray. Was that Poe? Was that an Edgar Allan Poe story? Oh, here comes the old guys that walk around the lake every Friday. Always run into them somewhere along here. I call them the old guys, probably my age, a little older. I think they're older than me. Probably more likely 70s than 60s. I am 63, which means this summer I'll be able to sing, "Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?" and mean it. "64 doesn't seem old anymore. It did when I was 24. Funny that. Oh, the lighting up now, the colors fading from the sky, just going to blue. Benches, because there's a gap here where you can get a nice look at downtown. back this way, you see the right downtown to the main towers. Good morning, whoever that is. MD, it says. This is Pine Island. Go over there sometimes, but they don't clear the paths, so I'm not going to bother during the winter until the snow melts, probably. Which will be a while yet. It's only January. Oh, it's such a pretty morning, though. All the way around. The light is just beautiful with the hoarfrost. That sort of pale blue sky. Like I said, the color is mostly gone now, not entirely. There's still some color in the clouds, but sun is actually over there somewhere. Will be where it's coming up. A little bit of color still in the clouds up there. Like I said, the path is not actually as wide as they've cleared it. It's really wide. I don't know if I'm walking on pavement or on the grass. Probably pavement this close to the light standards. But probably over on that side, it goes down, it's actually walking on grass. Again, there's the Connexus Art Center up there. It is a very beautiful morning, yes. And not too cold either. -9 is quite pleasant, actually. For winter, anyway. You wouldn't think so if it was spring. Looking the other way. I'll be over there in a minute. Now there's color in the clouds over there, which is cool. That's the west, so those clouds might actually be headed this way, and this sunshine might not, well, it's not quite sunshine yet, but you know what I mean. Clear sky may not last. Joggers. Still no dogs, though. Very pretty. There's a little edge in the distance. If I tilt far enough back, the moon is still visible. Can't quite get it perfectly in the frame with the lake. Morning. Broad Street Bridge. Just gorgeous. I like the contrast of the hoarfrost with the darker clouds and then the pink above it over in this direction. Very pretty. I'll be taking down my hood here before long. Getting quite warm under there now. After walking for half an hour, however long I've been at it so far. Oh, the clouds are getting even pinker over there. Like that whole side of the sky is lighting up pink. Big old pile of snow. It's the marina, no boats obviously. Again, lovely hoarfrost. Here is Bar Willow restaurant. There's some other things, but it's the main restaurant. They also have a takeout window called Lake Tahoe. Only open in the spring, obviously. The restaurant's open and even has a deck that's covered. I think they keep open if it's not too cold. Although I've never been there in the winter and sat on the deck, so I don't know for sure. This is where the rowing clubs and such like hang out. Playground not getting a lot of use this time of year. You can rent paddle boats and canoes and things as well. Don't know how much that happens. I've never done it, but could. Should sometime. I've never hardly ever been on the lake in a boat. I wouldn't say never, but hardly ever. There's this boat, which is the kind of the official Wascana Center boat. And there's the ledge again over there. Looking very pretty. And in the summertime, there's a fountain there.
That's fantastic.
Very pretty this morning.
The sky's lovely behind the ledge.
And there's that mysterious patch of open or almost open water in the middle. It's got to be some sort of warm outflow. Downtown, straight ahead. We live right over there. Where I'll end up. I think I will take my hood down now. My head's getting quite sweaty. The scenic look out there. I will if I can find the snaps. There we go. Cool off my head a little. Especially I was kind of walking more into the wind going the other way, so. Snowplow headed straight toward us. I'll probably want to get out of its way. Another one going the other way. That's why the path is so wide. That's the HMCS Queen over there, which is the naval ship. It is run as a ship. HMCS means His Majesty's, Canadian ship. It's where the naval cadets hang out and stuff like that. I think if you wanted to join the Navy, you'd have to go over there in Regina. It's my guess anyway. I have never had a desire to join the Navy. Although my nephew was in the United States Navy, served on an aircraft carrier in places like Kosovo. Also served at Pearl Harbor, which between Kosovo and Pearl Harbor, you'd probably take Hawaii. Anyway, made a career out of it, 20 years in the Navy, I think. Chief Petty Officer. And then retired. Which is odd, because he's way younger than I am, but he's retired from the military. Still working. I had an uncle, I think it was, who was a Seabee during the Second World War, naval engineer. Had a cousin, I think, who flew bombers. There's another fellow I met who was actually a B-17 tail gunner, I think. He was lucky he was still around when I got to know him, because that was a very dangerous position. I think he was a tail gunner, not a waist gunner. Pretty sure he was a tail gunner. My dad was a little too young to serve during the Second World War, so yay. Otherwise, I might not be here. My brother was in the Navy, but had a medical discharge, so wasn't in there very long. My other brother had to register for the draft, but they weren't actually drafting people at that point. By the time I was old enough, even though I was a U.S. citizen, the draft was no longer in operation. Thank goodness. Yes, very beautiful, Roger. Even beautifuler a little earlier. Here's the parking lot where my Shards of Excalibur young adult fantasy series kind of really kicks into high gear. The Lady of the Lake shows up right there in the water, not in the ice. Tells this local girl that she's the heir to the power of the Lady of the Lake, and if she accepts it, she and this boy, who seems to be there by accident, but there aren't really any accidents, have to go find the scattered shards of Excalibur from around the world before Merlin can, in his modern day guise as Rex Major, computer guy. At the time I described him as Steve Jobs or Bill Gates kind of guy. Now I'd probably say an Elon Musk kind of guy. So he's the villain in the piece. Merlin is, not Elon Musk. I quite enjoy Elon and everything he does. I don't know that I'd like him if I met him, but I do like the way he shakes things up. Not to mention the whole SpaceX thing is just astonishing. We take it for granted those spacecraft flying up and landing again. That was science fiction before SpaceX. And if Starship pans out, that's a real game changer in spaceflight. And every reason to think it will, because SpaceX guys know what they are doing. More space experience than anybody else now, launching things. Oh, let's go this way because it's been plowed. Not perfectly smooth here, by any means. Now we'll curve back down to the lake. Still haven't seen a dog. Several joggers, but no dogs. There's the legislative building. The sun is still not up. It's not too far away now over there. And now this bench has been cleared. Could have sat on one of these, but I wasn't going to wait that long to tie my shoelace. Oh, hi, James. Just means Edmonton is in the dark. That's all that means. Oh, the sun is up. You can see it kissing the top of the trees over there now. Actual sunlight. Joggers everywhere this morning. Look at all these people coming. You can tell it's a little warmer. You see people no matter how cold it is, but you see more when it's warmer. And it's pretty, so people are probably out enjoying the view as well. See the gazebo over there. Morning. So those are the quote old guys, but they've all strung out now compared to when I first saw them in a bunch. Actually, if it's still dark in Edmonton, one might say that Edmonton is a benighted place. It'd be absolutely accurate. At any one time, half the world is benighted, of course. Morning. Oh, yeah, the sun's up. Creeping down the trees. Almost back to the bridge, and then it'll be home. Home sweet home. Where my coffee lies waiting silently for me. Yes, the pre-sunrise sky was prettier than the sunrise, though. If you go back to the earlier part of the walk, it's always a pretty sunrise here. Almost always. Looks like they sanded this. It doesn't look like bare pavement. No, they sanded it. I guess this was particularly slippery for some reason. Of course, it always looks like a magical forest, even though it's just a few scattered parkland trees. With the hoarfrost on, it looks thicker and deeper than it is. They should put hoarfrost on the trees year round. Spray something on in the summer. Call it Wascana Winter Wonderland. Charge the admission fee. And the sun has hit the houses in Lakeview, the 3 houses in Lakeview that actually have a lake view. One last look back at the rising sun. At the bridge with the Saskatchewan flags flying bravely. And then the last little bit home. Back through the tunnel with the graffitied artwork. Oof, across the street. Carefully, because the streets often have the slipperiest ice on them. By this pretty house, which I've always wanted to see inside. Although I hope they have very well insulated windows, those huge bay windows. It'd be very cold in that living room. This is where the noise was. Not here, but the next driveway. And I couldn't quite see what they were doing. I presume they were clearing it. I don't know what else that noise would have been. It was up there in that corner, so I presume they were just clearing out that last little bit of the driveway. Here we come back to Angus Boulevard, which will take us to Angus Crescent. Likely. Otherwise, that living room would be as cold as the outside. Although when that house was built, it probably, well, it would have been double glassed, I'm sure, but probably there's better technology now. Our house still has the original windows from 1926, and our living room is cold. They have storm windows on them, but they don't help that much. Especially one of them's broken on the outside, so lets cold air into the dead space. It's on our list of things to do. Replace those windows. Make a huge difference to the comfort of the living room if we get that done. And we do have a name of somebody who's kind of does old houses, but I'm sure it's going to be an expensive proposition, and we're still trying to get the extension built on the back of the house. Should have happened last summer, but we never got a building permit because our engineering firms was struggling to meet the somewhat insane requirements from the city for something that's 67 square feet. To have thought we were building a skyscraper. And the response is, well, we know it doesn't make sense, but them's the rules, basically. So, once again, government is not your friend. Scariest words in the English language: I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. It has been said. I did make that up. There's Devon School dead ahead. It's hardly a new problem. I mean, I'm sure ancient Egypt was rife with useless bureaucracy. And the longer it goes, the more sclerotic governments get. Which is why in a democracy, the best thing you can do is throw the government out periodically and replace it with somebody else. Trouble is, partisans think once they're in power, they should remain in power forever because they are the good, right, decent people, and the others are the evil, choose your insult people. I say, maybe we should have term limits for parties. You can have 2 terms, and then the other party gets in. We'd have to start a new party. That would keep things shaking up. All right, well, here we are. So, thank you for walking with me around the lake. I will be probably back one day this weekend, maybe not both, we'll see. So have a good day.